All right, I'm back. Around a month ago, my work confirmed my days off for this upcoming holiday season, and yeah, therefore I created, therefore I loaded the coordinates to determine my next travel destination once again, and this is how it went. So yeah, I'm going to Pakistan. Not something that I expected, to be honest. I was definitely thinking and hoping that I will get South Asia soon, but I didn't expect Pakistan in particular. But I think it's a very interesting destination, and I'm very excited. And it doesn't even feel like I'm going. I loaded the coordinates around a month ago, and since then I've been just engulfed in work, and it was like I forgot about the whole thing. I didn't forget about. I didn't forget to apply for a visa, so everything is ready. I'm heading out tomorrow. I already got my bag here. So yeah, this shit is happening. One thing I love to do for sure is to be a map nerd, look at maps. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, here we are. So there's this one map I want to show you. As some of you may know, many governments have travel advisories for their own citizens. They release travel advices for most countries in the world, or all of the countries in the world, like in UK's case. Some of them are obviously politically charged and motivated, but and I don't follow them too closely. But I think the UK travel advisories, based on my own research that I've done, seems to be the most accurate. And this is the current version, not issued by UK. They only issue these kinds of pages, so somebody from Reddit created this map on their own. But this is what it looks like for Pakistan. So this is what each color indicates. So my coordinates will be around here, which is a green area. But a lot of Pakistan is red, which basically didn't go there under any circumstance. And that can be seen here as well. For example, this Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, which is around here, most of it is red, and all of these different districts are excluded or included as a red area. And then we have the Balochistan province, and basically the UK travel advisory advises against all travel, pretty much for the entire province, except for this one small slice of the province. Balochistan runs somewhere like this. That's probably the most unstable part of the country. So a lot of Pakistan is red, and that's probably where it gets its reputation from. But quite many areas are still fairly normal. If you look at the rest of the map, Mexico obviously depends highly on where you go. Haiti, I don't see it becoming anything but red anytime soon. Venezuela is obviously its own kind of worms, and a lot of Africa is obviously red. And this kind of a thing also concerns me. Like, if I'm thinking about like Yemen, it hasn't been safe to travel probably since late 2000s. I'm just thinking, when will I get the opportunity to go? Or even Sudan, which obviously was stable just a few years ago, but now with the civil war, it doesn't seem like the situation is gonna change anytime soon. And especially Somalia. There's a lot of these kinds of places. An interesting thing is that North Korea is not marked as red as most travel advisories do because, well, it's North Korea. But I guess this has some logic behind it. It's not fully politically charged decision because if you go to North Korea and you just do as you're told, you don't deviate from the rules that were given to you, it should be a pretty safe place. But you're shown the same things as to everyone else, which is why I'm not particularly interested in visiting it all that much. Russia and Ukraine is obviously red, except this part of Ukraine, which is not as much affected by the war as these parts, obviously. Even though Russia, for most parts, is safe in terms of stability and um, I guess like uh, criminality. Um, the reason why it's red is because if you get in trouble there, you're essentially fucked. It will be very difficult for any, especially if you come from a Western country, it will be very difficult for them to help you out in a situation where you're in trouble. And we've already seen two instances with YouTubers getting jailed there for practically no reason. That's why it's red. But yeah, it's an interesting map. And thing is that Philippines, which is a very popular tourist destination, has a red area, quite a large one actually. I think I've read that there are some Muslim insurgencies in that area, but I'm not 100% sure. And the situation with Myanmar is obviously very complicated as well. Yeah, very the way I exclude travel destinations is more or less based on this map right here. So um, I'll go anywhere, everywhere except red. I mean, I suppose many of these red areas. Well, I would actually visit Iran, even, but then again, it has a kind of a similar situation as Russia that it's mostly stable, even though we did have the protests not that long time ago, and a new one can emerge soon. But it's still, for most part, stable, just like Afghanistan in a way, with Taliban under control. With Taliban in control, not under control. But it's this these countries are kind of similar to Russia that you could definitely get in trouble for no reason, and if that situation arises, it will become very dicey, and your government won't likely be able to help you out. Okay, I guess I want to show you the coordinates. So they are in this town or this small village here. I recall the coordinates being right around here. Um, so my plan for now is I have a flight to Karachi tomorrow, and I plan to Karachi, obviously a city that is has an interesting reputation to say the least. What I plan to do is in Karachi is to visit a regular neighborhood, then like a central part of the city, and then like more of a rich neighborhood to get like a full picture of the city. And then I will travel to Hyderabad. There's actually a couple places I want to visit in this city. One of them being this one, Sindh Museum. Since Sindh province by itself, even though for most part it's safe and stable for Pakistan standards, it's not really a popular tourist destination. Tourists usually go to these parts in the north, with beautiful mountains. Some go to the capital in Islamabad, right around here, yeah. But this part of the country is not super popular with the tourists, so I want to learn more about this region, this Sindh region, and I saw on a whim that there is a Sindh museum. I want to check that out, learn more about this particular nation, make up the second largest ethnic group. It's either it's either Pashtuns or Sindhis, but Punjabis are the most um, most populated ethnic group. But bottom line being that there's a lot of Sindhis in Pakistan, and not much is told about them in our world. So I want to learn more about it. And this is the Indus River, and obviously Indus River Valley, one of the first civilizations in the human history. So I think there's a lot of interesting to learn and see here. But then I will take a train to this town called Motley. As you guys see, there is a railway leading to the town, and then I will find my way to get to this Moya village where my coordinates are. So yeah, I plan to maybe spend a little bit longer in these cities than what I did in China. China for in many ways felt like more of a speed run. I was going through cities quite quickly. But yeah, this time I intend to take just a little bit more time in these cities before I move on to the smaller ones like Motley. Just to kind of, how to say, feel out the air, just see how I feel, kind of tap into the atmosphere and the vibes, and just let my intuition take over basically. Since this will be the riskiest place I have visited, which I don't think it's that unsafe, especially in this part of the country. But compared to my previous travel locations, this one has the lowest GDP per capita. Is the most unstable out of my previous travel destinations. So I intend to take it a little bit slower just to get used to the country, because it's definitely bound to be something I've never experienced before. But I'm very excited for this one. Looking very forward to this. I'm very much looking forward to this one, and I've heard a lot of good about Pakistani people and their hospitality. Now my flight is leaving in 10 hours, so I gotta go get some sleep and then head to the airport. So yeah.
All right, we're off.
I've made it my 23rd country, Poland, and 85th region, Masovian. Didn't think I would end up here this way, but glad I did. I'm looking forward to briefly checking this place out. Looks very cool. Old architecture and then a lot of these modern buildings. I know that Poland got a lot richer ever since joining EU. It can be seen here. First things first, I need to find myself a Polish restaurant. I've had Polish food only once while I was in Norway briefly, and I loved it. I mean, it's familiar to me. I grew up on Ukrainian and Russian food, so there's a lot of similar elements. But yeah, I gotta try to find one. Most of the highest buildings in Europe are located either in Moscow or on the European side of Istanbul, but for European Union, this right here is the highest building. It's called Warsaw Tower. Okay, just landed in Krakow, still Poland. Yeah, I know this is a weird itinerary, but this one really was the best one available.